Hey guys, Shane here again from the Train Sons podcast. Today I wanted to bring you a video about the release cycle of how they are actually releasing cards in Legends of Runeterra. So I've been seeing a lot of questions on Twitter and on our Discord and different social media about how this release cycle works in Runeterra, exactly what's coming when an expansion's coming out, and it's very unlike any other game. So it's important to highlight those differences because it is very different. It is a very different thing that's going on as far as every other card game I've ever played, and mainly it comes down to really the regions. So regions are a huge important factor of why it's actually so different. And let me explain why. So I'm going to jump on over into the game here. So when you have your collection here, we have in the cards regions, or in the cards you have all regions, you have your various regions. This game started without Bilgewater and Targon, so there was originally 6 regions. And now when you build your deck, obviously, if you're a new player, you build your deck with 1 or 2 regions. That's how it works. So when there's only 6, that was the possibilities. You could match Demacia with 5 other things. When they add an additional region, that's a big thing. So what they did originally was just add they had a release set. They added the first 6 regions, and then later in that year they added Bilgewater, and they added 1 new region, and they added a little bit to every other region. So as an example to show you, now you can look into Demacia, and Demacia has currently 6 champions. When they originally came out, they only had 4. When they added Bilgewater, Bilgewater started with 5 champions. You'll see Fizz, Misfortune, Kench, Twisted Fate, Gangplank. It actually was Nautilus over Tom Kench. So Kench recently came out. So they only had 5 champions when they originally came out, and the other regions had 4. So what they did was they added Bilgewater with 5 champions, and they raised the tides of all the other regions to 5 champions as well. So now you're looking at a situation where they are all on even playing ground, where every region had 5 champions. They wanted to switch that up when they got to the next set. So now if you go to Targon, every region should have 6. Well, in reality, Targon only has 5 champions right now. So what they did for Targon was they would release a one-time release of a solid chunk, more than half of the set. That started with 4 champions from Targon and 3 champions from the other existing regions. So there's 7 other regions, so 3 of them got champions. That left 2 additional champions for Targon to come and 4 other regions to get 1 additional champion. So what they did was, that was point A. They released this giant set. They added a whole new region and 4 champions, and then they broke it down into 2-month separations. So after 2 months, we got to the point where they added a additional champion. In this case, it was Soraka, and then they added 1 champion to Bilgewater, and then 1 champion to something else. So that's how they did it. And then now we're coming up on the second small mini expansion release of this whole set. This whole set was called Call of the Mountain. Then they had Monuments of Power, and now we have Cosmic Creations or something along those lines. It just got announced recently. And that new one will add the last 2 champions to Noxus and Piltover, as well as the 6th champion to Targon. So once that hits, which should be around December 15th, December 16th, in that range is what everyone's guessing, every region will be on the same exact playfield. Every region will have 6 champions, roughly the same amount of epics and commons and rares as well. Currently, these 3 regions here are slightly behind because of that 2-month cadence. So that's how they're releasing sets. So they release it as a chunk, and then they'll release it separately after that. So I can actually switch this over to this image here to kind of explain a little bit more of what exactly I was just talking about right here. And so essentially what we have here is, we have what I just mentioned. August, Call of the Mountain dropped. They released 7 champions, 4 of which were from the new region, 3 of which were from past regions. And they added 82 non-champion cards. That was a little bit of everything, right? Spells, followers, all that type of stuff. And then we got even landmarks once Call of the Mountain came out. So then Call of the Mountain came out. This was a 2-month break period. So you had August. 2 months later, in October, you had expansion 2 of the Call of the Mountain, and they named it Monuments of Power. That released an additional champion for the highlighted new region, and then additional cards for everything else as well as 2 other champions from other regions. And now we have, sometime in December, very soon actually, you have expansion 3 coming out, which will be 3 champions. Again, the last for Targon, and then Piltover and Zaun are the only, Piltover, Zaun, and Noxus, those are 2 regions, are both right at the cusp as well. They only have 5 champions, just like Targon. So they will all raise the tides to all get to 6 champions. And then at that point, everyone will be just about even in terms of epic cards, rare cards, common cards, and mainly champions. That's the number one thing that they want to be even. Champions will be even across the board. Now, they haven't announced officially on anything that they will be following this exact release set, but this is what they described as how they want to do the releases as they move forward, and it has been answered even on a Q&A with a few of the dev members. On Twitch, they had revealed that this is their plan for 2021 as well. So in February, a new set will get revealed, and there's 8 regions currently in the game. When this new set does get revealed, it will have a new region. Now, if you're familiar with League of Legends, it could be the Void, it could be Shurima, it could be Bandle City, it could be anything like that. But it will be a whole new region to make it 9 regions to essentially increase the amount of deck options by a ton, because now you can add every other region to that region to make a new deck. That will be in February, and it will again include probably 5 or 4 champions from that set, and everyone else will then get boosted to 7 champions because they're all at 6, and they'll slowly boost all those champions, and it'll follow this exact cadence of February will be a large drop, and then 2 months later, it'll be a smaller drop of cards that adds only a few champions, but some other splash cards as well. And then after that, you'll see another small drop of cards to finish off that region set. And then 6 months after February, which would be should be August again, we will then see an additional region come into the game. So that is the essential following that they are going to do as they get through. So essentially wrapping up this real quick video of me just explaining the release cycle, that's how it's going to work. We haven't talked about rotation in this game. They haven't talked about rotating cards out to put different modes, like in Hearthstone you have Wild and things like that. They haven't talked about that yet. And the only thing they've really mentioned about it is they don't want to get to that point until every region that they want in the game is actually out. So until that happens, we probably won't see rotation. And we don't know how many regions that is, but there, you know, if you're a fan of League of Legends, you know there's a few more key regions out there that, you know, so many champions are from that we haven't seen. So, you know, a lot of speculation around the Void and Shurima, like I said. So other than that, that's essentially the breakdown of what you're going to get. So you get new cards every 2 months, and in between every month in between all those releases is normally a large balance patch, which will drastically change a few different cards. It will shift things up. It'll balance certain champions that are underplayed, nerf certain champions that are overplayed, and they have a whole cycle of that, and that would be a whole nother video. But essentially, every month you'll get a balance patch. Every 2 months you will get card release, even if it's small, but every 6 months it will be a massive card release, including a new region. That essentially is all you need to know about the card release system. And if you're playing this game consistently, getting your Volt to at least level 10 every week, you'll be able to craft anything you want pretty much whenever. The game is extremely free to play. If you haven't checked out my Runeterra guide for ex-Hearthstone players, that's good for even if you didn't play Hearthstone, but that'll completely break down the economy of the game, so you can really get used to seeing all that, exactly what's going on there in you know, how to maximize cards, vaults, and all that type of stuff. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, throw a comment. Let's beat this algorithm boss together, and until next time, peace.